Good evening, groovy citizens, and happy Motivational Monday. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. I hope you've had a wonderful day. My day has been great. You know why? Because I'm on vacation this week. So there was no getting up early for this sister girl right here. However, and because I have been busy, I think I told you all that I've been working on an editing project. And y'all, when I tell you I can see the end of the road, I'm almost done. So that's what I spent all day working on. And one would think that I spent all day working on it, so it should be done. However, just for those of you that don't know, when you're editing, it takes a lot of work, especially when the document that you're editing is not formatted. So I have to format it first, and then I'm reading everything line by line as if I had purchased the book and I was reading it, you know, like you normally read a book. And so it can be a tedious process, let me just say that. However, it is for a good friend, and so I don't mind doing it at all. And I decided to use this week, fingers crossed, that I can get all that stuff done by Wednesday, because after I do this video, don't judge me, y'all, I'm going in the house and I'm eating my chicken nuggets. Okay, yes, I said it. And I'm going to get back to editing, and I'll do that up until I stop and eat my dinner, which will probably be around about 8:30ish, 9 o'clock maybe. I'll edit some more, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Okay, so now before I jump in, I also wanted to say I bought 3 books, y'all, and I'm so mad because I wanted to show them to you. So I'll have to do it on Wednesday, because I said I'm not going back in the house to get those books. I'll just show them to you on Wednesday. And before I started this video, y'all, I came out the door and I felt like I was being watched. I said, somebody's checking out the dude. And then I looked to my left, and guess what I see? 2 deer down the street. And honey, they are going to town. I don't know if there's ivy that they're eating down there or what, but whatever it is, they are having a good time eating it. So I always say that whenever I see deer, especially from a distance, okay, we're not meeting by accident, I always end up having something good, that some good news or something happens. So I said, Lord, thank you for that sign. Now let's jump into today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about always be silent in these situations. Always be silent in these situations. And of course, this is some Stoic philosophy that I'm going to be dropping in your spirit today. So we must learn to embrace the power of silence as a tool for inner peace and wisdom. So I'm going to share 7 lessons with you. Lesson number 1, you want to be silent when dealing with anger. Okay. If left unchecked, it can cloud our judgment and lead us down a negative and destructive path. Anger does not listen to reason. I'm going to say that one more time. That is a quote by Seneca, if I didn't say that the first time. And he says, anger does not listen to reason. Y'all, this is going to be in the description box, because I want you to really think about that. When was the last time you really got angry? Were you able to listen to reason? No, you weren't, because you were angry, upset, and in your feelings. And so Seneca captures the essence of this emotion. You see, when anger, and I'm going to apologize up front because my sinuses are draining. When anger takes hold, our ability to think rationally and make sound decisions can, and often do, become compromised. When managing anger, we must use, and I'm going to give you, excuse me, my eyes itching. I'm going to give you three things. So when managing our anger, we must use, number 1, self-assurance, where we recognize anger is rising in us. Number 2, taking a pause. So after you recognize your anger, you need to take a deliberate pause before you react. You do this by emotional something. I don't know what this word is that I wrote. Emotionally and mentally taking a step back from the situation to compose yourself. This also helps you not to make any immediate regrettable decisions. And number 3, choosing a rational response. Consider the source of your anger and then assess whether it's justified or based on your own perspective. This is where you want to look for a response that will promote a resolution and keep the confusion going. Wait a minute, this is where you want to look for a response that will promote a resolution and not keep the confusion going. I do apologize for that. So let me go back and unpack that just a little bit, where I talked about when managing your anger. So I gave you 3 things that you must do. And as I talked about the whole self-awareness thing, it just basically recognizing that you are angry. And I know you're thinking, but Michelle, duh, I know I'm angry. But sometimes when you're caught up in the middle of being angry, a lot of things just go out the window. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because you've been so angry that you forgot that you are saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. You forgot about where you work. You forgot about who your family and your friends are. You forgot about where you live, what you drive. All of that went out of the window when you were angry. And so that's why you have to recognize, number 1, that you are angry. And if someone says to you, oh, I know you're probably angry, don't sit there and go, oh, no, I'm not, I'm fine. Tell them, yes, I am angry. It's okay to say that. And then taking a pause. So one of the things that I want to stress about the importance of taking a pause is that when we are angry, and we all have done this, we can say and or do some things that can be very, very ugly. And here's the thing. Yes, you said it out of anger, but once that moment has passed, you can't take it back. That's why I always try my best that when I'm angry, not to say things that I'm going to regret, because I can come back and apologize, but I can't take back what I said. And we all have experienced this, be it we've received it or we've done it, where we've said something to someone that was so hurtful and so ugly, and then we wanted to come back and apologize, and we get mad because that person, they either don't want to accept your apology, or they accept the apology but they don't want to be bothered, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. And you can say, well, I just said it because I was angry. Yeah, you were angry, but you if you had stopped to collect yourself, you would not have gone as far as you did. So that's why it's so important to take a pause and then choose a rational response. Okay, because like I said, once you say what you say, it's done. Lesson number 2, when dealing with ignorance. So in this journey called life, we will face the ignorance of others, and it can be rather trying to say the least. However, when we react to ignorance with anger or frustration, it's counterproductive and can further make the situation worse. So by choosing to remain calm and composed in the presence of ignorance, we not only preserve our own integrity, come on somebody, but also contribute to the creation of a more harmonious and constructive environment. And that's a Stoic approach, okay? So in other words, when somebody's acting angry, if you choose to jump in and act angry right along with them, all you're doing is making the situation worse. So it's best to consider the source, as I like to say, and get yourself in control. That way you're not acting angry ignorant right along with that person. God, my face is itching, excuse me. Lesson number 3, when faced with insults. If you need a witness, be your own. Insults can be emotionally challenging and hurtful. The core message is clear. When we seek validation from others, we compromise our integrity and self-worth. Instead, we should become our own witnesses, relying on our inner values and beliefs to assess the validity of the insults. You see, when we respond to insults with anger, we empower, get this, we empower the insulter. Let me say that one more time. When we respond to insults with anger, we empower the insulter and give them control over our emotions. Come on now. Think about that. I know when somebody insults us, the first thing we want to do is we want to lash out and grab them by the ball. Whoa, wait a minute. I was going to say grab them by the balls. We want to grab them, I would say, by the collar of the shirt, and we want to just go in on them. But when you respond, that insulter says, oh, look at that. I done got under their skin. So now you've given them control. We don't want to give them control. When somebody insults you, as I said before, consider the source, take a step back, and then think about what your next move is going to be. So Stoicism teaches us to stand firmly by our own moral code, unwavering in the face of external judgments. In this life, and I've said this before, but in this life, you're going to always have people that are going to say things. You cannot control that. Remember, we've been talking about focusing on the things that you can control. Well, you can't control what other people say about you. You can be a model citizen. You can have the latest everything, and somebody somewhere is going to talk about you. Somebody somewhere is going to insult you, because that's just what that's how life is. That's how people are. But your job is not to give the insulter any power. Don't let them know that they're getting to you. Honey, just brush it off. Do what I do. I just say a quick prayer. Say, Lord, I need you to handle that, because you can handle them far better than I can. Lesson number 4, when criticized unjustly. It is not uncommon to have others speak ill of us, and our natural instinct oftentimes wants us to respond negatively as we defend ourselves. Don't allow the unjust words and actions of others to disrupt your inner equilibrium. This is where self-restraint comes in. By choosing the path of silence over retaliation, we embody the essence of Stoic wisdom. So again, people will unjustly criticize you. I know it doesn't feel good. Nobody wants to be, criticized unjustly. But again, remember what I just said a few minutes ago. You say, Lord, I need you to handle it, because you can handle them far better than I can. I'm not getting myself all worked up over being unjustly accused of something that I didn't do. Or maybe it didn't go down the way they said it went down. Let them live with that. You brush it off, honey, and keep right on going with your life. Lesson number 5, when dealing with gossip. Marcus Aurelius once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your own estimate of it. And this you have the power. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Let me say it one more time. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your own estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. So gossip can cause us to want to set the record straight, which makes us angry and liable to say and do anything. However, the Stoic philosophy encourages us to take a step back and reevaluate our approach. We talked about that earlier, right? So we don't want to react impulsively. Instead, we should center our focus on our own perceptions. This simply means resisting the urge to engage in confrontation. Why get caught up with their ignorant behavior when you know it's not true anyway? And when you stop and think about that, like I said, when somebody lies on you and they, they use malicious gossip and they're lying on you, they're gossiping and it's not even true. Okay. That's number one. It does bother you. It bothers you. At least it bothers me to the core of my being. And yeah, you want to set the record straight and say, well, wait a minute. I know people have been saying ABC, XYZ, but that's not how it really is. And we do. That's just a natural instinct. But what I want you to do is start to think about, why do you want to get yourself all worked up over something that's not true anyway? Not only that, you guys, people are going to believe what they want to believe anyhow. I have seen it and I've experienced it firsthand, where something was said that wasn't true, but people chose to believe the lie. Now, I could sit and get myself worked up over people wanting to believe this lie, or I can just say, you know what, the hell with it. It's not true, so I'm not going to worry about it. You believe what you want to believe, because like I said, people are going to do that anyway, and there's nothing you can do about it. So why get yourself all worked up? Come on now. Lesson number 6, when confronted with injustice. Seneca said, the brevity of our time on earth is not the primary issue. By cultivating a resilient mindset and choosing to perceive challenges as opportunities for personal growth, we can transform adversity into a catalyst for positive change. Stoicism reminds us that even in the darkest moments of loss, we possess the power to shape our own narrative and find meaning amidst the pain. It's a philosophy that empowers us, to embrace life's inevitable losses as integral parts of our journey, and to strive for a life well lived regardless of the challenges we encounter. So that's just like, if you think about people who have stood for the injustice that African Americans have endured over the years, they could want to storm the Capitol if they chose to, but that's not going to get them anywhere. So that's when, again, you have to take a step back and really assess the situation and come up with a solution that's going to help the greater good, not one that's going to have you out there looking like a complete ass clown. Number 7, last but not least, when dealing with loss. So during our time of loss, it's natural to feel a sense of loss and despair, but it's important that we focus only on what we can control. We can control our reactions and our own perception of the situation. While we may not have control over the external circumstances that led to the loss, we have full autonomy over how we choose to respond to it. Incorporating silence into our daily life, it helps with personal growth and emotional resilience. So essentially, what that says is that when you deal with loss, sometimes it's best not to say anything. Sometimes it is best not to say anything. And when I'm talking about dealing with loss, I'm talking about loss of a loved one. I'm talking about loss of a job, loss of a home, loss of a car, loss of a relationship. Sometimes it's best not to say anything and just sit and just think. Just think. Just think. And specifically, when I say think, what I'm really saying is, sometimes when you're dealing with loss, it's best for you to just sit and just pray. And that's it. Just have your prayer and your meditation time. Because when we're dealing with loss, we take on so many different emotions. And if you're not careful, sometimes those emotions can get you into trouble. And so that's why I say, as you deal with loss, the thing that I want you to do first and foremost is to just sit back, get quiet, and pray. Pray and meditate. That's all you need to do. Because, as I stated, we can't control always. Sometimes you can, but sometimes you can't control the external factors that led to your loss. But you can control how you deal with it, how you talk about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, it goes back to focusing on the things that you can control, and the things that you can't control, leave it be. Let it go. Don't waste your time and energy on it, because you can't do anything about it anyway. So why get yourself all worked up? So having said that, I will do a quick recap and let you be. Today I talked about always be silent in these situations. And number 1, I said when dealing with anger. Number 2, I said when dealing with ignorance. Number 3, when faced with insults. Number 4, when criticized unjustly. Number 5, when dealing with gossip. Number 6, when confronted with injustice. And number 7, when dealing with loss. And I'll tell you something, it takes a big person to practice being silent in those situations. It really does. That comes with growth. Now, here's the other thing that I'm not saying. I'm not saying not to do anything about it. What I said was to get quiet, be silent, because you do need to take just a few minutes to really think about your next move. Do you know how many people have dealt with somebody gossiping about them, lying on them, and some of the other things, and dealing with anger, and just like that, they took somebody's life because they allowed that anger to get them caught up, and they did something that they should not have done. And you can apologize all you want to. You can say, but Your Honor, I didn't do it intentionally. It was an accident. Yes, it was, but you still took a life. Yes, they said something about you that you didn't like, or maybe they did something that you didn't like, but you took their life. They didn't take your life. And so if you had gotten quiet and used that time to talk to God, then you wouldn't be where you are. So I want to encourage each and every one of us to start practicing these Stoic principles. God, my face is itching, excuse me. Start practicing these Stoic principles where we get quiet, we talk to God, and we allow God to lead us where we need to go next. And I promise you that situation, it will turn out so much differently, okay? Having said that, you guys, that is it. That is all. I hope something I said today resonates with you and helps you as you go on this journey called life and deal with the situations that I talked about and others that I didn't mention, because this is not a complete list by any stretch of the imagination, okay? If you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I do car conversations every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, so make sure you come back on Wednesday when I have another motivational topic for you. So my channel, in case you didn't know, my channel is all about speaking life into God's children. I am not here to tear anybody down. I'm not here to judge anybody. My goal is always to let you know that you can be better than where you are right now, that the best is yet to come, that God has not forgotten about you. He has not forsaken you. That is my ultimate goal, is to speak life into each and every one of you, okay? If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your evening. And whatever you do, wherever you go, I just ask that you do so responsibly and you're safe in doing it, okay? Because I love y'all. Y'all know I love you to the moon and back, and there's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can do about it. That will never change. I will always love you. I will always believe in you. I will always be here to encourage you because I love you that much. Love you all again. Talk to you on Wednesday.